Now we are live. Hey. This is a little bit of an impromptu stream. I am in the middle of working on an animation. I'm doing a walk cycle for my new latest character, and I figured I want to get into streaming. I want to put more of an effort into showing my through just edited videos. So I'm going to stream the next 40 minutes to an hour as I work on finishing up this walk cycle, and hopefully you'll get something from it. I don't know. I feel like this would be boring to a lot of people, but if you're watching this and you stick with it, let me know what you think or and if you enjoy the process. So, let me tell you about what I'm doing. I am working on this guy right here. He is the main character in my latest animation. He is an Elvis impersonator with a bad attitude and even worse cholesterol levels. And let me play him for you. And as you can see, we're nearly there. We're about 90% done with this guy. And what I have to do now is I'm working on adding detail to the lower half of his body. This is a 12 frame cycle, so I'm going to have to add the detail to the 12 frames. Now, I'll show you what I was doing earlier. Let me show you what this character originally looked like. We'll look at this one right here. And this is how the frame cycle started, where I was just measuring out the stretch and squeeze technique, where his head comes down as his belly pulls the weight of his body down, and as it springs back up as he takes a step back up, making the walk cycle a lot more interesting, giving it a lot more personality. Once I was happy with this, I went and I lined it out, and I did just a very simple line work on each over each of the sketch. So if I play that, you can get an idea. I just lined it all out, and now that I'm happy with the lines, I started to put some detail into them. So I've been putting detail into the feet so far. You'll probably be able to see that. And now what I'm doing, I'm going to put it down to 4 frames per second, so it's really slow. And now my job is I am going to fill in all of the detail, put his belly button in, put some extra shadows in, put a little bit more detail on these trousers, and hopefully in the next hour I can finish up this iteration of the walk cycle and I can move on to new stuff. And I've got my cup of tea in my very appropriate Elvis mug, so let's get started. Now, let me reset these frames. Now, and let me let me stop now. Let's go to the very first frame and get going. I'm going to turn off animation assist for this. And I think I'll just go in and draw directly onto. I'm going to put like a heavy shadow under the belly right here. And I might leave that till last. So I'll start working around the back leg. I think the leg that's in the background should have a heavier black shadow on it. And we'll start there. Alright. So maybe heavy black shadows. They bring everything to life. So yeah, if you're watching, and I would be really curious if people actually find this stuff interesting. Um, I would watch people draw and animate all day, but that's me. So let me put this in here. Yeah, I've been threatening and talking about doing live streams for so long, and I never get around to doing it. And I just keep telling myself nobody wants to see you animate. It's really boring, but we'll find out. And with the new animation festival that both myself and Scuba Steve are launching, I think it's a lot cooler and it's a lot more important, and it's motivated me to start putting some animation processes online so we can all kind of learn from each other. So already, like, putting that heavy black shadow in, I like that. I think that works with him. And let me see what the next frame is. Let's turn on animation assist and let's set the onion skins to 1. So, all right. This is all frame by frame, by the way. This is the laborious, boring frame by frame process of having to hand draw everything. I don't want to even know how fast this would take somebody in a computer software. Now, so this leg, this is the next frame after it. So I'm going to use this shading on the previous frame as a kind of reference to make sure that it doesn't jump too much. I just want to smooth it out. I never like having harsh corners in my art and my drawings. I like to kind of smooth them out, even if it doesn't make sense. Now, should this shadow be thicker or thinner than the one that comes before? Should we watch it? All right, that's working. That didn't jump out as being too jarring, right? Now, let's go to the third frame. All right, and obviously the belly has come down, so it's only really here on the leg that will put more of the shadow in. And if you are listening, I don't even know if anyone's watching this right now. I'm not paying attention. Actually, bear with me. I will actually pay attention to the chat. So if you have any questions, you can let me know. All right. No comments to display. All right. I've just put a post in there to... All right. Now... So, yeah, so now I can see the chat. So if you have questions, drop them in the chat and I'll pay attention. All right, so let me keep going on this. So, yeah, I want to get this heavy shadow here because this belly is all consuming. Let me just go back here. All right, let me clean this up. It does, I don't like, it's a little bit messy. And boom, boom. All right, we can see that's starting to work. And let me play that at normal speed. Yeah, it's kind of cool when you can't actually see anything jump out at you. That's when you kind of know it's all flowing together, because again, you know, animation, everything has to flow, and it's usually when something just blah comes at you when you're watching these, it's like, okay, you really missed the mark on what you were trying to do there. So, all right, so that's good. Yeah. I don't know. I think I want to make it a little bit thicker. I don't want to play around with it too much, but I feel, oh, that's the erase. I feel like it should be a little bit thicker. And I don't want to mess it up too much, but hey, listen. I get lost in the weeds sometimes, and I'll spend like 10 minutes just messing around with a shadow that nobody's ever going to see. Yeah, I think that's better. I'm going to leave that now. So what I'm doing is, you'll notice I'm doing it piece by piece. So as I add a new element or a thicker line to one of the frames, I'll go to every other frame and keep adding that corresponding new element until I get the entire cycle finished, and then I'll go back to the first frame and start to work on a different area. I do it that way because it helps me keep track of everything. Because if I was to do all the details on the first frame and then go to the next one, I'd completely lose my track and sense of where I am. Now, so where are we now? So now that leg has gone into the background, so it's over here now. But we'll still work on this front leg, and we'll add the shadow because it's the same area where we're working. So let me put a thick shadow there. Now, I don't know, I already kind of have some detailing going on here, so I don't want to mess it up. So let me just pull a thick line and then kind of clean it up. And maybe bring this line out here. Bring it like here. Again, I am doing all of this little detailing here and nobody's ever going to see it. And this is my big problem. I can't stop myself from doing this, but nobody's ever going to see these little curves I'm adding in, but I don't know, I can't stop myself from doing it. I just love to have everything perfect. Yeah, I think that's still working. Nothing is jumping out. So right now, I'm just concerned about something really jarring just jumping out at me that says that indicates that, okay, wow, you really misjudged something there. So, all right, let's continue to work this area. Let's give that heavy shadow. And we continue it a little bit thicker here. Does that work? You know, what's funny? Like, this is all going to be covered up because when we go back in and I start to line the drop shadow from his hanging belly, that's probably going to come over a lot of all what we're doing here anyway. So, probably we should have done the belly first. It's going to save me a lot of work. Yeah, maybe I'll just not do any more of this section if the belly comes down too low. Let's watch it. Yeah. See, I don't know on the stream if it's streaming smoothly and you can see this as a smooth animation or if it's jumping with the lag, but it's looking cool on my end so far. So let's go to the next frame. Alright. So I'm not going to do anything with the belly, but what I can do is thicken this out a little bit. And maybe give the hint of the shadow under here. Pull this line down. Yeah. What I don't want to lose, like, I don't like this, right? You see this right here? I don't like lines that end like that. So I like to kind of just clean them up a little bit. So maybe that's not looking too bad. It's so exciting. And then maybe I'll kink this out a little bit so it makes it look a bit more graphic. Alright. Maybe I'll pull this down a little bit more. Alright. And then again, look, I'm getting into the weeds and I shouldn't be doing this. And I'm already starting to look back and look at this and go, okay, no, I want this to look like that. And yeah, I get so preoccupied with figuring out details that nobody cares about. It's alright, so let's play this and see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm happy so far. Let's go back to our last frame. Alright, let's move on. That's the last one, and this is the alright. Now this leg has become it's moved into the foreground, and the leg we were working on has gone into the background here, and this is where you can kind of see his ass cheek, and this is where the split or the divide is now. So I'm going to work on this side and continue on this side until the character takes the step forward again, and then we can go back. Alright, so let's continue it. So let's add that shadow. And this is again how I like to animate. And I get in the lines first. I get in all the actual line work of the legs, the drawing, whatever. And then once I'm happy that it's all animating correctly and it all looks smooth, I come back and then I start to embellish everything. I start to add the shadows, add the kind of texture, and give it more life. Right. So, all right. So what I need to be conscious of is the thickness of the shadows on this side. So when I get to this one, I'm making sure it's a consistent thickness, and I kind of want to make them a little bit thicker. All right. Yoosh. All right. Now, where are we at? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. It's looking good. What's the next one? Boom, boom. All right. Bang. Right, so that. Now, okay, so we can see the previous frame is grayed out, and we're going to work on this. So I'm just going to follow the line, make it thicker, and then I'm going to kink it out as the shadow kind of spreads across. All right. And I've just uploaded a video on my Twitter of the early stages of how I was using the stretch and squish or the stretch and squeeze animation principle to give this walk some personality. Alright, so go check that out as well. Let me pull this down. I'm just getting nitty gritty here, and I'm getting lost in the weeds. I don't like it's not as clean as it could be. There you go. Wait, no, let me do it again. All right, here we go. All right, let's move on. What does the next frame look like? Oh, all right. Now I'm not going to touch this front leg because I want to leave that, because that's going to be where the hanging belly is going to cast a shadow. In fact, I might actually skip this frame altogether because I feel like the belly is going to play a big part in how we shade this. So I'm going to leave that one for the moment, and I'll go to the next one. And again, all right. Now I look at this and I'm looking at my line choices, and I have a line here, and I'm wondering, I know why I did this. I wanted to kind of show it's his, like, that's his ass, that's his leg, that's the separation. But now I'm thinking, do I need that line? Do I need to have this line? Should I take it out? I don't know. But what I will do in the meantime is I will just give it a little shadow. Yo, let's. All right, and then I will consider taking it out. It's always like one step forward, two steps back. Very pessimistic. So if you're listening to this and you're in China, both myself and Scuba Steve are putting on. Oh, we should put the shadow back here as well. Look at this foot here. I'm concentrating on getting the shadows on the feet, right? So we should do that right now as well. Anyway, what I was saying is myself and Scuba Steve, we are hosting and curating a animation festival on the Solana blockchain. It's called Solanimation Fest. And basically we just want to highlight animation. We want to highlight all the animators in the space, and we also want to get people thinking about animation, and because animation is more democratized than it's ever been with programs like this. I can animate frame by frame on my own, with software, with Blender, with all the kind of Toon Boom harmonies, Procreate, Adobe Anime. It's making it a lot easier for people to animate, and we just want to get people animating and having fun with it. And we also want to try and bring some new animators into the space, so we have lots of rewards, cash prizes and merch giveaways. So if you haven't, check out our space we did yesterday, wrote the Solanimation Fest, where there'll lots of details on all the upcoming events that we're going to be doing and how to get involved and submit some animation. Get animating. It's a lot of fun. I know it doesn't look like a lot of fun, but believe me, it is. When it goes right, it's fun. A lot of the time I'm just cursing at the screen when I can't figure out how to get something to look right. All right, we're on the last frame. And again, this foot is back in the background and we have a line here so we can put that shadow in. And then we're going to go back to the start. We're going to watch it, see how it's animating, see how it's flowing, if we need to make any changes. And then we're going to move on to the next piece of detailing. And this is frame by frame. So exciting, huh? All right. This is how I slowly go crazy, spending my days. Now I don't know if that works. I kind of just flicked out the line there, but I don't know how that's going to work. But we'll see. All right, okay, so let's go back to the start. I hope this plays correctly on the stream and it's not lagging, because... All right, I am happy with that. I like how you can see it transferring back and forth. I could even see myself bringing that shadow down a little bit more as I go on with it, but I really think it's this bouncing belly here. I really think we have to add a belly button in as well. I just remembered. I really think that the shadow cast by the belly is really going to determine whether I go back in there and do any more shading. All right, so let's go back to frame number 1. And what are we working on now? Ooh, will we do the belly? All right, let's do the belly. All right, what I'm going to do first of all though is I'm just going to make a copy of this because I'm drawn directly onto the frames, and if I feck it all up, I don't want to have to go all the way back and lose the original drawing. All right, so I'm going to take a sip from my Elvis mug before I go in and work this shadow. I'm a bit nervous about doing this. Because I really like the belly bouncing, and I feel like I'm gonna mess it up if I mess around with it too much. So I'm gonna bring the frames right down to 4 per second so I can really watch it in slow-mo and get a feel for where I want the bounces. Bounce. Alright, so I'm gonna have it here. So the shadow should kind of bounce down as well, right? So boom, boom, boom. And we have to add the belly button. Let's not forget about that. Let's put this back up to 12 frames per second, the standard. Yeah. And I think what will bring it to life as well, when we have a little belly button that kind of centers the geography, and the belly will look even better as it bounces when we add that. All right. So let's go back. Frame number 1. Let us begin. All right, what I'm going to do is turn off animation assist, and I'm going to do this on a separate layer. So I can move it around if I need to. All right, that's a good thickness. There we go. Now, what does that look like? We get rid of you. Yeah, let's go with this, right? Let's start with this as the thickness of the belly shadow. And let's just drop in there. Now. Oh, I like it already. And let me bring out this thickness here. And let me just curve it around there. No, I don't like that. Get rid of that. All right. What I can do, right, now that we have it here, here's a little trick, here's a little shortcut to save me some time, is I'm going to copy this and bring it up to our next panel. Now, so, okay, and let's merge them down, and let's go into our animation. No, let's see what the next panel is. And the one I copied, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of see if this. Nah, it's not working. Sometimes if you're adding in the same kind of shadow or drop shadow or something or same detail, sometimes you can get away with copy and pasting that detail itself and just bringing it along with every frame, and kind of getting away with not having to draw it all so many times. But in this case, because it's such a fluid belly, it's such a fluid animated cycle that the shadow's going to have to change with every frame. It's just going to, the entire structure is going to change all the time, so it's not worth even trying to do that. But we tried. Right, so it's there. So let's go. Let's do this again. Now I'm wondering if I should continue. See, do I continue this between where his the shadow is casting? Oh, I'm losing this nice shadow on the zip. Huh. Now, yeah. So I'm continuing the. Let's just do this. I'm continuing that shadow. Boom. Okay, that's not too bad. But you know what's bothering me? Look at this. Look at this right here. That is bothering me. And that's never going to be seen. And I don't know why I'm wasting my time getting rid of it. But that will annoy the shit out of me if I don't clean it up. Oops. And then we go down. This is how pedantic I get when I'm animating and doing this kind of stuff. Now that's better. Boom. Now. Alright. Let's keep going. Alright, this is an interesting one because it's all the way down past his knees at this point. And it's like what I said earlier. I probably should have started with the stomach, but again, I was just a bit apprehensive about doing it because we can see that it all relates to the shading here that I've already done. And now I'm probably going to go back in and mess with this shading. So, alright, so let's get this stomach going. It's around about here. Let's kind of give it a. Let's kind of take off the hard edge and let's fill this. Boop. Now, let's. Now, see, now what I'm worried about is the shading from the back leg is connecting to the drop shadow from the stomach, and that it will look a bit weird. But I'm going to have to just keep going. I don't think it's going to be weird, but these are kind of little details that I get caught up in. So let me just watch it. Alright, so it's not looking too bad right now. Alright, so boom, let's go back. Let's keep going. Yeah, look, I was right. Yeah. Starts around here. Oops. Yeah. I know you can just like bucket fill, but sometimes I just like coloring in the spaces, It's like brings out the child in me. I'm just like, I want to color it in. Let's just bring out some of that stuff. So now, all right, look at that belly. Boom, boom. All right, I'm gonna go back to this one already because it's annoying me. I can already see that I don't like the flow of it, so I'm gonna bring it down a little bit more. Boom, boom, boom. All right, and now we are on to this frame. Now, the belly is in front of the foot right here, so let's pull it down and bring it up there. Okay. Alright, I want to a little bit bigger. Let me see the previous. Yeah, the previous shot is here and then here. And yeah, I think this needs to come down a little bit more. Yo. Yo. Alright. And it's looking good. Let me just I'm getting tetchy about it now. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Next frame. Cool. So it's where is this belly? It's the angle. I changed the angle a little bit on this one. So fuck, my pen cut out. No, that's wrong. Don't like that. Let me see the previous one. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get a bit confused there. I was actually trying to. I thought the line of his trousers was the line of his belly. That's where I was making a mistake. And this is gonna cut across the zipper, so I'm gonna add an extra frame here so I don't mess up the zipper. And oh, that's terrible. And let me just quickly erase that, and then merge down, and let me get that back. Now, oops, fill this in. All right, and let me just. I should probably be checking comments. Oh, still good. And I want to clean up the lines here. And clean up this line. And yeah, look at this belly. Alright. And maybe I'm going to kink this over here. Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe if I bring this down more. Maybe if I get rid of it. I'll leave it for now. I think this should kind of have more of a shadow here. Or should I? No, let's get rid of it. I'm overthinking this. Alright, let's go to the next frame. Okay. And there we go again. Again, very repetitive. Just repeating the same stuff over and over and just trying to get it to flow. I think that belly should come down a little bit more. Alright. Let's watch it so far and see what we're working with. Alright, it's not too bad. It's still working. It's not sticking out as being too off-putting. I think we need to finish it first. But I definitely want like a heavy black shadow under the stomach. And I think this is on the right track. So let's keep going. Okay. No, that's not right. Alright, let's just go with this and then I can make some adjustments to it. Alright. Let's pull in a little bit. Alright, we're getting there. 4 more frames. And this is an interesting one because it really hangs down here. So let's wow. Now let's finesse this. This was the frame, if you remember, that I skipped doing shading on because I wasn't sure how to tackle it before doing the stomach. You know, so I can do some of the shading here now on the leg. I'm actually going to take that out. I don't like that. I think it should be a smaller shading. Lesser shading is the word, sorry. And let's just bring it up here. Alright. Nah, I don't like that either. Ugh. Let me just take this out a little bit. Technical terms. Oof. I want to bring his belly down more. Again, I'm just getting overly pedantic and nitpicky with this shadow, and it's not needed. Alright. This is frame number 11. Whoa. And yeah, I didn't like that. I kind of went over the line there. No, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the extra frame for this because... Oh, and then if I went over the line, I can scrub it out. And then we can merge down. Now. Look what I did there. Get fucked. How are we looking? I'm liking that shadow. Yeah. Now. Oof. That was one serious nedzer, as we say in Ireland. Yeah. Alright, 2 more frames. Now, I'm definitely going to have to go back in on all of these and fix the width. Because I bet you I've done it in certain ways where the shadow underneath is jumping all over the place and it's not consistent. So I'm definitely going to have to go in and fix some of this. Let me do... I'll do this on a separate frame. Now we can merge now. Let me clean that up. Okay. Yeah, see, I don't feel like I don't feel like the thickness of this shadow is matching in any way. Yeah, see, now I don't like this. I don't like this bit here. Let me fill that in. I don't like this. This is not... Don't like it. Alright, let's fix this. Let's bring a shadow over that. And how do we fix this? Maybe pull it out. What does that look like? Ugh, that's even worse. Don't like that. Let's get rid of that. Okay. This is why I should have done the stomach before the leg. But, alright. Well, fuck it. I'll leave it like that for now. Okay. This is the moment of truth. Let's watch the entire cycle with the added stomach shadow. Alright, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Yeah, I'm liking that. Alright. Alright, so we still have more shading. Let's slow it down to 4 frames per second and see how it's looking. Okay, I can clean it up. There are certain spaces I could, certain frames now I can see where I can make the line a little bit more smoother, clean it up a little bit more. But overall, I'm happy with that shadow. It's looking good. So we're gonna do one last thing for the before I end the stream and get on to doing some boring admin work. Is we're gonna add his belly button. And this is going to be a fun and easy one because this is the kind of thing I can draw once and then I can just copy and paste it into each different frame. And all I've got to do is move it up and down, um, depending on where the stomach is. So that should be relatively easy. Okay. Now, let me just. No. So let's start with frame one. And I'm going to draw it over it. So how do we want to draw a belly button? All right. Let me see. Let me look at my previous drawings of him. And the very first drawing here that I have, he was a lot less fat. Like he was a lot thinner in my original drawing. His belly only hung here. But when I started to animate his walk cycle, it felt so much more cartoonish and comical to have a big massive barreling stomach. So that's why he put a lot of weight on since his first initial walk cycle. So yeah, I kind of remembered how I drew his stomach, his belly now. So let's put it in here. Is that a good thickness? Right now, which here's a no. I'm gonna bring the thickness of the brush down. I don't want it too thin. And it's all it is a simple belly button, but you gotta get it right. You gotta get these little details right. Otherwise, what are we even doing? Let me just. Yeah, I don't like that. Not a fan. Let's go again. I'll just give him a more simple one. Alright. So there is his belly button. And that's just merged down. So on the next one. Alright. You need to turn off animation assist for this. Alright, so this is frame one. His belly button's there. Frame two. What I need to do is judge the distance between the end of his kind of crotch area here and up to the belly button. So I can just slide it down. So it's come down about this much, right? There you go. See, this is the easy part of animating when you can get away with, oops, when you can get away with just copying certain elements and just using them again. Okay, so let's go on to the third frame. So boom. Now it goes down even further. It goes a lot further, right? And it moves. I think that's too low. Let's look at what it's like. Yes. Maybe move it here. I might actually have to start angling it differently as well, but again, this is our first pass. We can fix all of this stuff. All right, now let's go to the next frame. Get up there, and So we want to see what the difference is. Okay, and there we go. And so it's going back up again. That's about there, right? That's about the same gap. And maybe it should be going higher each time and making it look a bit more comical. We'll see. All right. Boom, 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 boom. So this is going. The stomach is coming up a little bit, and all right now. Let me bring this up here. It's come up again and it's moved over, so I'm going to bring it over here. Man, you know what? It would have been so much more easier just to draw this over and over, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back on myself. Sorry. I'm going to highlight all these little belly buttons, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. It's too... yeah. Don't like it. So let's go back into our animation. Let's just draw it. Let's do what I know, and let's just keep repeating the drawing. Boop, boop. We'll keep these two, and then we'll go down here. I'm going to bring it. All right. And then again, I can go in and finesse all this later, but just feels more natural to just draw it on each frame instead of trying to take the shortcut of just drawing it once and copying and pasting it. It's not working. I don't like it. All right. So it's all the way down here. Let's go back up and oh, see, look, it's in the way. All right, so it's back up around here. The size of this is going to jump around and change, but I don't mind. It's back up here. Now, where does he go? It's going up again. Okay. It's actually kind of got smaller there. Let me draw that again. Yeah, sometimes it's great sometimes when you have a repetitive piece in an animation where you can just copy and paste it. Boom, boom. But I don't really, and I don't know, it just wasn't feeling right. I much prefer to draw. Now I'm starting to get into a groove of drawing it now. So the belly bulk, so it's coming back down again. All right. Bang, bang. Okay, bang, bang. So it's around here. All right, now we're cooking. Now let's make this work. All right. That's bang, bang. Belly's coming down more. It's not coming down too much, right? We can see from the frame beforehand, so let's not drag it down too far. Oh, why can't I draw a simple feckin' oval? I'll just... Alright. Now this is going to change shape and size, but that's okay. We can fix it later. Boof. Boom. Oh, it takes a serious drop here. So it's down about here now. Let me see where you are. Boof. And it springs back up. Back up. Up again. So I'm just going to judge it like it's slightly over. And then where are you? And now, see, the belly doesn't really spring up more, it just moves, but so I just think we just have to slide it over a little bit. And that should be all right. Let us watch this. This might be a bit of a car crash. This absolute shitty little belly button. It's bouncing all around. I kind of dig that. I think we need to make it bigger. I think the on first look the belly button definitely needs to be bigger. I want to make it a little bit bigger. But I like how it's kind of shifted and it gives that more. Blah, this stomach is just bouncing everywhere, and yeah, so I'm happy. There's a few more shadows I need to add. Um, so we did all the shadowing on underneath the stomach. We did the shadowing on the back legs. I did the shoes earlier, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna work on maybe a pattern on the trousers, like a lightning bolt or something Elvis related. But okay, we can see now when we watch. Let's watch it in slow motion, and let's see where it goes wrong. All right, yeah, okay, boom, boom. I think it's just a matter of increasing the size of the belly button and just making sure it's all like in and around the same size. And maybe that's where just copying and pasting comes in. But I kind of like how it's jumping around because the stomach is kind of going back and then springing forward. So I do like that movement. And I think I need to clean up the kind of under shadow here, the drop shadow on the stomach. So let me watch this again in full speed. And you know what? It's not too bad. This is not too bad at all. A few more bits and pieces, and this guy is going to be ready for color. And when I color it, again, it's very laborious. I have to color and shade every frame individually. I can get away with a lot of stuff if there's not much movement. I can copy and paste the color layer, but for the most part, because they're around the stomach and legs, that's all having the color and shade for every layer, every frame. But that's frame by frame. All right, I'm happy with that, and we are at the hour mark, so I'm going to shut this down. If you enjoyed this, let me know. I don't know if this is fun. I don't know if people are interested in this. I usually edit my process videos, put them together in small 30-second, 1-minute packages. But I do want to get more comfortable with live streaming and sharing the process a bit more and being able to kind of, help anyone else out that is starting to animate as well. And if you're getting something from this, let me know because I do want to do more of them. And yeah, look at that little belly. I'm sorry, I just keep looking at this guy's stomach. This is one of my favorite walk cycles I've done. And I'm really proud of this one. Before I go, I'll just go over and show you the steps. And let me see. Here is the original walk cycle. Here's the very first cycle. And you can see it doesn't even match. If I bring it down, play it really slow, bang, and then it kind of repeats itself. And you can kind of get an idea of how I began it. And I haven't even got the stomach correct. It's still what it was. I was more concerned about getting the feet and the cycle right. And then we move on. Let me see. Is this the correct one? Yes. And as you can see, refined the sketch a little bit more. And I was starting to develop the big slobbering stomach. Starting to get that right. And then we move forward to where once I got it all cleaned up and was happy with it, I kind of made this reference right here. And this was just his shoulders and this circle to represent his head. So every time his foot went down, I pulled this reference down, and every time it went back up, I brought it back up. And when I play it, it gives me an idea. So if you watch this circle and you pay attention to this circle, that's where his head should be. at all times to correspond with his movement, so his head is not just frozen and it's his whole lower body jiggling. And I use that reference, and then can I find it? Oh, that's him shooting a gun. That's a whole different thing. And where are we? No, yeah, where? Oh, here we are. And then I was able then to cut and paste his head and put it on every circle, and to get an idea of the head movement. And then I did the same thing again with his arms here to make sure that they were kind of bobbing up and down in the same sequence, applying that stretch and squeeze principle to the walk cycle. And here is what it looked like today before we started any work on it. It was just these simple lines. That's all that was created, and it was just very bare. So what I've done today, and for the most part on this stream, is I've taken this and we have turned it into this. We've added the heavy drop shadows, we've added some detail into the shoes, and we've added that little bouncing belly button. So now what I'm going to do now is, well, the next stage is to add more detail to the trousers, maybe more friction lines, maybe clean up this drop shadow, and then I think we're able to move on to color. But that is frame by frame animation. It's very repetitive, it's very laborious, but it's also really, really rewarding. I get a kick out of doing this. I go into the zone when I do these things, so I really enjoy this kind of solitary creative activity. I hope you really enjoyed this. Again, I really appreciate it if you watch the stream, send me a DM, tell me what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, because I do want to do these again and I want to get better at them. So let me know if you liked it or not. All right, I'm going to sign off, and I will say have a good day, everyone. I'm going to go do some boring